That was fast.
GM.
All right, GM. Karen, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. This is a great day in Hong Kong.
Yes. Hot and humid, but not as bad as I hear New York is right now.
Yeah, I heard it's bad.
I saw
Smoke.
Blade Runner 2099 is actually trending on Twitter right now, so it must be pretty bad up there. So welcome back to another episode of the GM Show. My name is Casey. I am your co-host today, and we have an amazing show packed with guests. So sit back and relax and enjoy the GM Show. But first, Karen, for the new listeners, what is the GM Show all about?
Sure. The ABC of the GM Show is Asia focused, builder friendly, and cool vibes only. So this is all. This is what the show is all about. It's not a Memeland show, but a Web3 show bringing Asia to the world. So, hello, some listener. I know that you've been visiting us, listening to us repeatedly. So hello there. And please tweet us any questions and comments, and we'll look at them at the end of the show. And we're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're streaming live right now.
Yeah, let us know if you want us to be in other places. I want to see us on Twitch and Instagram, but we'll see. But definitely tweet us out what you want to see us on. And we know it's an Asia-focused show, but I see people from all over the world joining us today. And I just want to say, I want to shout out one listener from Brazil. His Twitter handle is Vinicius B, and
Yes.
he just posted a photo of us from the Apple Vision Pro keynote, and it's a picture of me, Ray, and Karen in the headset. So yes, one day you'll be able to listen to the show with that $3,500 headset on your head.
We've been shouting out him a couple times already. So hello
great.
there.
It's funny. I've had friends in Hong Kong tell me $3,500 US. That's expensive, but when it's like 23,000 Hong Kong, it doesn't sound that bad anymore. Very weird that happens. All right. Before we begin, we have a quick message from one of our chairmen.
Discussed on the GM Show is not investment advice. We may or may not have ownership interests in the projects we are talking about, but this is not investment advice in any way, shape, or form. And this is not Sir David Attenborough.
All right.
Wow. Thank you, Sir David.
Sir David is amazing. All right. There's so much happened in the world this past week. I really want to dive into the Vision Pro launch and all this stuff, but we have just too many guests. So we're going to start with the content right away. We have a special guest joining us from New York. He's not going to talk about the weather. He's going to talk about something called Vcon. Andy, come on up. Andy, how are you doing?
Hi, Andy.
Hey, Casey. Hey, Karen. Doing very well. How are you all? Thanks for having me on.
Let's go.
Andy is the president of VFriends, based in New York City. How are you doing? What is going on over there right now?
It is smoky. We're getting fluctuations in weather, but we are continuing to build VFriends and Vcon despite the smoke.
That's right. That's just like a good builder does. So we've been hearing so much about VCon. One of our guests, Debbie, she was on her way to VCon after our show. So we're very excited to hear what this is the second year, right? I believe.
This is the second year of VCon. VCon was created as a utility of value to VFriends Series 1 holders. It is a 3-year conference. We just had year 2 in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And so, like, just off the bat, like, I didn't go to the first year, but that was in more of a bull market. Now you're kind of in a bear market. What are the differences between the 2 years in terms of, because it looked like it was even bigger this year than it was last year.
Yeah, first year we took a lot of lessons and improved, I think, general operations of the conference for a better attendee experience. The biggest difference this year versus last year was the programming. Last year, we were very endemic and central to Web3. We had a lot of artists, creators, project founders. And this year, we had a lot more CMOs, executives, much more focused on business, entrepreneurship, and innovation and technology than specifically just Web3.
Yeah, that was definitely, I could definitely see that with some of these Hollywood celebrities that were there. I saw Drew Barrymore. I saw who else? I had Jessica Alba. Are they in Web3? Are they getting into Web3? Like, what's the connection there?
No, I think aside from their Hollywood status and lore on their feature films, they're actual business operators. Both Drew and Jessica have a lot of insights and values to share for VCon attendees about how they've approached building their personal brand and their other business ventures. And I thought they brought a lot of value to the attendees there.
Can I just ask you, why is it in Indianapolis?
At first was Minneapolis, which is when I misspoke. And this year was in Indianapolis. And it's a combination of really wanting to take over the town. If we go to a central market like New York City or LA or Miami, people are going to disperse very quickly and go 1,000 different directions. When we're going to Indianapolis, everyone you saw out on the streets at a bar or local restaurants outside of the conference was there for VCon. And it just creates a really conducive environment for networking, but it creates a bigger community effect, which is something that's important to us. And also Indianapolis was just a great location. Our first day of VCon was a field day where people were playing games outside. We had an amphitheater where Busta Rhymes performed. And then right across the street was Lucas Oil Stadium, which we took over for the main stage programming. So it's a really cool city. And again, it just allowed us to sort of take over the city for a couple of days with VFriends holders and other Web3 enthusiasts.
I see Gary in a lot of these videos. How hands-on is he in comparison to these videos? Was he there all the time? He looks like he's signing a lot of autographs. He's high-fiving a lot of people. And look at these great shots of him coming on stage. How invested is he compared to the rest of the VFriends team in this?
Yeah, he is extremely hands-on. I think if anyone's had the opportunity or privilege to work with him, people that he's hands-on. VCon is his baby. When we were creating VFriends and he was articulating what VCon was, it was on us to execute it, but it's always been his vision to create a conference. And it's why I think VCon is so unique. It's sort of taken the Gary V of innovation and pop culture and media and marketing and filled a stadium with it, and selfies and autographs and hanging out with people. That's really what the attendees want from him. So he's there to be able to give his time and value back to the VFriends community, but he's also really hands-on on selecting the speakers, the programming of the event, and how he really wants to see the event operated.
Right. What's it like to work with Gary in person?
That's always
that's what I really want to know.
What you see is what you get. You know, he's extremely genuine, authentic, hardworking. I wouldn't be surprised if I get a text at 11:30 tonight about an idea he has about Vcon next year. You know, he's really enthusiastic. He's also, you know, like, I love working for him. I'm a decade in. I wouldn't be a decade in working for Gary if I didn't appreciate the values that he has.
Wow. I mean, like, that's like a really good, sounds like a good boss to me.
Ray Chen is on this call as well.
Yeah.
It is. And like, boss. You know, shout out Ray. I think I've had the privilege of meeting Ray once or twice. You know, Gary, myself, Avery, who I know you all know, we sort of, people like to call Vayner a cult just because we sort of all have like the same vibe and ethos, but really it's because we have we have like-minded, you know, we value who and how we spend our time, and we also are extremely hardworking and want to build meaningful products and brands.
Yeah. Talking about brands, like, how do you bring on these brands? Like, what's the process of that? Like, bringing these brands to the Vcon?
Yeah, we saw Mattel and Barbie there, right?
Yeah.
A lot of other brands.
What's that?
Shout out Mattel. I mean, it's you know, I think a lot of brands right now are scared of Web3 and NFTs. And aside from just trying to be broader and bigger than Web3 for this conference, you know, it was really positioned as a business conference. So for Mattel or ABI or some of our other sponsors, there's a lot of different opportunities where we could reverse engineer what success might look like for them to be able to show up at this event and take part at a unique conference.
That's great. Was there any VFriends Alpha drop that you can share?
VFriends Alpha drop that was shared, you know,
every day
is Alpha. No, we had, so last year we had a big Alpha drop, which was VFriends was collaborating with Snoop Dogg, which turned into this VCon ticket artwork that we did. This year we actually had the CMO of Crocs come on stage, and we announced that VFriends is going to be collaborating with Crocs.
Wow.
There's only, I think there's 3 pairs of Crocs in the VFriends gibbets made to date. Gary proceeded to take those off the feet of the speakers and throw them into the audience. I think one sold on eBay for a couple $100.
Wow.
But
awesome.
we announced that we collaborated with Crocs, and I think it's a great collaboration for VFriends with the gibbets and the characters that we have.
Awesome, man.
I saw a lot of Pokemon cards there. Are you guys pulling in that kind of audience into the show as well?
What you saw, you might have saw Pokemon cards. What I'm hoping you saw was VFriends Compete and Collect, which are VFriends
that was not planned, by the way.
VFriends collectible trading cards. This is Joey Jellyfish. These cards came with every purchase of a VFriends Series 2 NFT. You know, much just like with VCon, with VFriends Series 2, we wanted to sort of create value right off the bat, off of owning the digital NFT, and with VFriends Series 2 is owning our collectible trading cards. We had card night on Saturday, which was lit. The energy was so ecstatic. We also had an Uno tournament from Mattel. People were blown away. Even our event producers, who it was their first year taking part in VCon and really witnessing the audience firsthand, were so blown away by how excited people were at card night, and people were opening up packs and trying to chase rare VFriends and play the game, compete and collect.
So you're Pokemon's a competitor.
Pokemon meets Sesame Street. That's how I like to. That's how I like to think about VFriends. You know, we have this collector's game, and trying to collect them all is definitely endemic to VFriends. But also, we want to try to espouse the values and traits of patience and kindness and empathy and the rest of the VFriends characters.
Oh,
makes sense. Very cool.
That's sweet.
Very cool. Have you guys decided a date for 2024 yet?
We have not decided a date yet.
But we're ready for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm slowly but surely, any podcast I'm coming on or show, I'm trying to guilt the host to make sure I can commit them to come to VCon. So Casey and Karen, and I need Ray there too. We would love to have you ready. At VCon 2024. We're going to announce the date and location at the end of the summer. We are scouting venues and locations right now. We have a big appetite to look outside of the US too. No promises, but that's a little bit early alpha of some of the locations we're looking at. But we will announce end of summer.
Come to Hong Kong, man.
Yeah, exactly. We host you. We'll help you set up a space. And it'll be amazing.
All right.
or if not Hong Kong, at least somewhere in Asia that's considered that. I mean, that's a big ask to get everybody out there, but wow, that's insane.
In due time.
Andy, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you so much.
We're going to bring Andy back on for a full interview on VFriends and more besides just Vcon, but a lot of the cards and the toys, everything that they're doing. That'll be coming out. We'll be bringing back in middle of July. So just keep your eyes on the Twitter. Andy, have a great night. Hope you can sleep. Tomorrow morning, hopefully the skies have gone back to normal.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all's time. Thank you for having me on. Good morning to everyone else. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Bye. Bye. Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
That was a good segment.
Yeah, let's see more of what's happening with VFriends. I love Gary V. He is so much full of energy, and I just love his message out there. And I want to support his NFT collection as well. And the Vcon is like, it's just looked like the videos are all on YouTube. So anybody's listening to this and wants to see more about it, they're all 3 days have a recap. A lot of the talks are on YouTube, so you can get an idea what it looks like. But it looked really exciting and very fun, and also the speaker level was quite high, especially in the market, right? So there, people are not there pumping bags and stuff. They're actually talking about building businesses, and that's what the GM show is all about. So very excited about that.
Hey, I'm ready to go, man. Next year.
All right. Let's keep the momentum. We have another guest coming on, Karen. We're gonna bring him on now.
He's my very special friend.
Special guest here.
What's up?
Hey, Jordan Leung, comedian, and he also works for 9gag of Memeland. Guess what? He has it all, man. So he's like our director of community of Memeland, Jordan. So welcome to the show.
Hello.
Lovely to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You're in New York right now. Again, well,
yes.
Smoke. Hopefully
Everyone's
not.
in New York except for us.
Yeah. Hopefully not smoking you out.
Also breathing that air.
Oh no. Well, I think like you have a very interesting story because I want to bring you on because like we also want to bring on different people from like also our own project as well. So you were a data analyst. You are a comedian and now building the community of Memeland. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Okay, I'll try to keep it brief. So I think I grew up kind of stereotypical, like do like quantitative majors and stuff. I think when I was in school, I didn't know what careers there were, so I just kind of forced myself to do like statistics and stuff. So I worked in fintech doing like data, and then when I was in New York I also started comedy. I took a class and I performed, and I was like,
wow,
I want to do this for the rest of my life. I had like a class, but after the first time I performed I was like, oh, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And then kind of fast forward to I'm doing both of these things, and kind of fast forward, I moved back to Hong Kong, and then I like sort of met you somehow, kind of.
Yeah.
And then ended up at 9gag, and then like
you're like, hey, I want to be a content creator. Like, what can I do here? And I was like, okay.
Essentially.
Well, you can join us. Yeah.
Yeah. And then about a year in 9gag, I was kind of interested in like NFTs and Web3, just on my own kind of personal like interests, and then the opportunity kind of came up.
Yeah, FYI, Jordan and I started the Memeland Discord. It was just the two of us, like, and maybe 10 people in there. And we started like our first AMA not knowing what's going to happen. And there was only like 20 people there, and only 2 questions were asked in the first AMA.
It was like an hour.
Yeah. And then we were like, wait, where's everybody? Like, there's no one on Discord. And then like maybe 2 weeks later, it blew up to like 200,000 or something. It was like insane.
Yeah.
So what was that like, to balance that, your comedy career and Memeland and all that stuff?
It's kind of hard to balance, I think they're both things I like. they don't really end, like
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, okay,
There's like
Memeland's
an off
closed
time.
now, time to
Yeah.
go eat dinner.
Yeah.
So they're both things that just kind of go on and on. But I think they both kind of give me that flexibility, just to
Yeah.
be able to do these things. So I think I'm in a good situation, and I appreciate, like, I guess, like what this role entails.
Yeah. What do you hate or love most about building this community? Like, I know that, we doing it daily. What's that like for you?
Um, I don't hate it, of course. I love it. Um, I'd say sometimes
People
it
on
gets
Discord's
annoying.
like going nuts now. Wait.
Are they? Yeah, I love everything.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes some people can be difficult to deal with, kind of like a herd or like mob mentality, But I think
Yeah.
overall our team has been pretty good at kind of managing these kind of expectations and the mood and the sentiment.
Yeah.
Um, I do love that, like, it's very nice to see like the community like hang out and have fun with each other. It's very rewarding to see that,
Yeah.
like, it started from, like, what you said earlier about the AMA to like now, like
Exactly.
people are like, yeah, Jordan, I love you. Yeah, Karen, I love you.
Dude, like the MVP lounge just said, Money Printer Gobert said, "You're in NYC and not organizing an MVP dinner."
Oh, okay. I'll expense it. So right, all right, let's do
Yes,
it.
do it.
We'll
Do
get a
it.
3 Michelin star.
Yes. No, I mean, I love the community, and I feel like building with you has been like definitely a roller coaster ride for both of us. But like for the comedy scene, I think it's very different from,
Right, my audio's rugging me right now. Sorry.
going from
Hold
New
on 1
York
second.
to like Hong Kong, what's the comedy scene like different from these two places? Oh, you're not you have to pull it. I think your mic is off. Cuz Jordan started his comedy career in New York, right? So he also started
Yeah.
doing more comedy stuff in Hong Kong. So that's very different because you're doing bilingual jokes and English jokes in different places. So tell us what's like the difference there.
I say like most things in. Oh, hold on, my trouble. Okay.
I can
So like
hear you.
most. Okay, so like I guess like most things in Hong Kong. I'm kind of hating on Hong Kong right now, but it's like Hong Kong, like a lot of things other than like maybe like finance, a lot of things aren't as developed and kind of niche. But New
Yeah.
York's probably like the most kind of mature, developed comedy market. There's a lot of like
Yeah.
pathways to like succeed or take it to the next step. So it's a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
But
Do you get some gigs in New York?
yeah, I've been doing shows like almost every night. I'm
Oh
like
my
kind of
god.
tired. But
No wonder you're not on Discord now, we know.
what? No, yeah. But I've been doing shows almost
Well,
every night.
how do you keep that passion alive then? Like, I mean, like you're writing jokes every day then, and also like managing
Uh,
Discord and also our community.
it's yeah, I don't know. I ask myself that sometimes. I think taking breaks when you need it, you know.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's like if you burn out,
yeah.
it can.
What else do you do? Like you do meditate?
I don't meditate. Sometimes I might go like shoot basketball for like 30 minutes or something. That
Right.
usually helps me kind of get my mind off stuff.
Okay, so what are your future plans like, for your personal career or your personal passion?
Um, I don't think about it too much like that. Uh, I would say I think I'm kind of interested in like getting into like movies or something. Just maybe like writing or
Whoa,
producing something like that.
whoa. You need an
'Cause I feel like
audition.
I know. Well, I don't know. I
Shout out
don't
to all
want
the
to act,
directors out there.
but that's true. Maybe someone in the community can hook it up.
But I think that would be kind of a maybe longer term kind of goal. Yeah.
Okay, great. I mean, thanks for having, coming to the show, and thanks for doing this for us, like in New York.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Where can people find your stand-up there, Jordan?
You can find me on Instagram, 69 Ranch, and then coming soon to other platforms.
Nice.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan. Okay, that was interesting. Yeah, I like that too. I want to start to do that.
My team.
Yeah, feature more of the people behind the scenes as well, building out these activities. I've always bring on the founders out just to see what they're working on. I like that Jordan has so many different background things. I can't believe. Did you say he was in finance at the beginning? Is that what he said?
Yeah, he's a data analyst.
And now he's a stand-up comedian, and I've seen his stuff, and he's like a different guy than what we just saw.
He is.
So definitely check him out.
Yeah. Okay.
So
let's hear from our sponsor today. Well, our non-sponsor.
By Netflix. Netflix is a streaming service that offers a wide variety of award-winning TV shows, movies, anime, documentaries, and more on thousands of internet-connected devices. You can watch as much as you want, whenever you want, without a single commercial, but sorry you can't share passwords anymore.
Well, that was really not our sponsor. But if you're interested in sponsoring the show, please let us know, and we will read your message in a creative way. And hopefully you like that Netflix stuff that I just did. I mean, now we're on to our next segment.
Now we're on to the
main interview.
Yeah, that's right.
Main event.
We're so excited to have him on the show. Let's give him a little bit of theme music as he comes on up.
Hey, Jason.
Hey there. Good morning.
Hello.
I wanted to listen to it again, Jason. Welcome to the GM show.
How are you guys?
We're great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm also on the East Coast in the U.S. here. Seems like a trend with all your previous guests.
Yeah, it's weird. You originally are from
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, baby. That's right. That's right. We had Yum Cha together in San Francisco not too long ago. And so, of course, now that I met you, I'm like, dude, got to get this guy on the show and talk about all kinds of exciting stuff from OKX, where you are the Chief Innovation Officer. Mm-hmm. Some people who don't know what OKX is, it's the world's second largest crypto exchange by trading volume and a leading Web3 technology company. But I don't think in the US, right? If you are in Hong Kong or Asia, you probably know them very, very well. Relevant to us now, I think, since we're broadcasting live from Hong Kong, is that OKX is applying for the Hong Kong Virtual Asset Service Provider license under new regulatory regime, as well as the Type 1 and 7 licenses under Securities and Futures Ordinance. Oh, that's a lot of mumbo jumbo, but we're talking more about it right now. Jason, what exactly does a Chief Innovation Officer do?
Yeah, what do you do?
That's a good question. I mean, that's what I ask myself every day. But generally, what I focus on is the forward-looking parts of our business. So that relates to crypto, that relates to technology, and that relates to broadly how do we interact and help all these projects and communities out there. How do we build for them? Ultimately, our goal is to make crypto accessible. And we want to provide the tools and services to allow people to get into all the cool stuff that's happening all across crypto.
Right. And before we get into the nitty gritty, I just saw you tweet out, which I posted into this Twitter group. You are going to be doing something at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York, hopefully next week. When you go down there, the sky's all cleared up by then. But the Tribeca Film Festival, I'm going to still try and make it, actually, because I would like to go as a VIP of OKX. But what are you guys doing with this kind of classic film festival that was started by Robert De Niro?
So the film festival is for 2 weeks. So Casey, if you can make it over here, I'll be sure to hook you up. We'll get you to any film you want.
Nice.
But it's a really interesting opportunity for us. It's a bit unique. This is our second year where we're partnering with the Tribeca Film Festival. And really where we came in is to try to present creators, especially in the film space, and open sort of doors and their eyes to what Web3 can do for them. That's what our intent is. And it's been really great to see Tribeca understand how Web3 and crypto can be meaningful to them and their audience. And so one example is that this year we partnered to do a NFT drop, which comes with a ticket. It's a ticket so you can go to like a private screening with Robert De Niro, get to talk to him, as well as other benefits, goodie bags and things like that. So we're experimenting. I think this is all new for us and also for them. And so, as we continue to work with Tribeca, we're just excited to see how all these creative minds can come together to make something of value for creators.
Very good. Very cool. Okay. Yeah. So hopefully I can get out there. It sounds great. Robert De Niro and NFT Robert De Niro sounds pretty exciting. Okay. Let's talk before we get into Hong Kong stuff and talking more about OKX. I mean, I guess the big story this week is the SEC is trying to sue some exchanges like Binance, our good friends Binance, and Coinbase. What do you see happening there from your perspective?
Look, my lawyers have made it very clear that I shouldn't be talking about specific lawsuits and litigation and things like that. But I can talk broadly about this space. OKX does not operate and provide exchange services in the United States. So that's number one. What we do provide globally is our Web3 wallet platform. This is a self-custodial wallet, allows any user to basically manage 50 different chains. It's a multi-chain wallet. Do anything from swapping, NFT, marketplace, earn opportunities, and browse all the cool decentralized apps out there. So we think it's pretty powerful. We're pretty proud of what we've built. And recently we were one of the first, actually, I think the first multi-chain wallet to support Bitcoin ordinals and NFTs and BRC20 tokens. So just a lot of exciting stuff that we're building, and we've got a lot more coming. So that's that. On the regulation front that you just mentioned, look, it's in the U.S. in particular, which is what you asked about. It's a bit of a mess, right? We've seen, if you just follow on crypto Twitter, there's just it's hard to tell what's truth and what's not. There's just some wild stuff going on, rumors here and there. But broadly, I think what we can all agree is that no one really knows what's going to happen. It is interesting that, ultimately we'll see either the courts, via these lawsuits that the SEC is bringing, the courts will decide, or recent legislation that has been proposed by certain senators and representatives, that might be another path where Congress may actually get a chance to guide U.S. regulation going forward. Both of those paths will take a couple years, unfortunately, at least. So it's a bit murky. Hong Kong is a great example of a place that's not murky, right? We see Hong Kong, we see Dubai, we see Europe also, taking some forward steps there. So we're excited, and those are areas that we're actively looking to seek and work with regulators to get licensed.
That's why we're bringing Ray in for this interesting conversation.
Hi, Ray.
GM.
Ray just tweeted out yesterday when Brian Armstrong, I think the CEO of Coinbase, talking about the SEC complaint, he tweeted out, "Dear SEC, thank you for your continued support in helping Hong Kong become the crypto Web3 hub of the world." Ray, what is your take on this right now?
First of all, I don't live in the US. That's why I can shit post all the time. Right? I think this is one of the advantages, right? And I think some of our holders also know, right? Coinbase was in our Y Combinator batch in 2012.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, okay, I have a famous friend. It's kind of like that kind of connection, right? But But I think what we've seen Coinbase has built over the years is basically they try to be very compliant, right, with all the existing regulations as much as possible, to be honest, right? And not to mention they got listed, right? And then as far as I read from the news, right, they SEC look at the business plan and stuff. So I feel like the whole thing is kind of like weird, right, to me as a startup entrepreneur, right? And but it is what it is, right? I think the good thing about US is government can sue you and you can also sue the government, right? And somehow that's why all the lawyers in the US are very rich, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like a very litigious country, right? So I feel like this is the good and bad thing, right? We'll see how it goes. I mean, as an entrepreneur operating in Web3, I would just feel like I'm kind of happy that Hong Kong is taking another direction, right? Trying to make things more clearer for all the participants, right? As well as all the potential participants in the space. Yeah. So Hong Kong is the alpha. Yeah.
So Jason, June 1st, I guess it was already, what day is it today? So a week ago today, everything happened. What are you seeing, from OKX point of view, since you guys are also going to go for this license and like that? Is this the new promised land because the regulation is there, or what do you guys see?
So we've actually launched our app just for Hong Kong users over the past couple of weeks. It's still sort of in the first phase, but we've also, I think there's 16 tokens that are available for Hong Kong users to trade today. And we're working to add more features, including Hong Kong dollar pairs and all that. So there's a lot of work to be done as we ramp into this new regime. We're very excited. Obviously, we have a large team in Hong Kong. Hong Kong's also where I'm from. So it's just so amazing to see Hong Kong kind of come full circle. Ray, you mentioned when you guys were founded, we were founded in 2013, just a little bit after. But when I was in Hong Kong in 2016 with the company, I've been with the company for almost a little over 7 years now. When we were here in 2016, 2017, talking to Hong Kong regulators, HKMA, SFC, they didn't know what to make of what we were proposing. It was like, hey, look, this is out of scope. Please go talk to someone else. And so to see sort of Hong Kong come full circle and really embrace Web3 and crypto and all this, it's just amazing, frankly. And hopefully, I think a beacon where other jurisdictions can look upon as an example. That said, there are other places around the world that are also vying for this. So competition is good. We're also working in Dubai, like I mentioned earlier, Europe. We're licensed in Bahamas already. So it's just good to see multiple places that understand what crypto and Web3 is all about.
One of your competitors just got a license in Singapore, right? So there's obviously Singapore likes to fight Hong Kong all the time, but what do you see between those two cities specifically?
I was in Singapore last year in, I think, October or November for the Singapore FinTech Festival, FinFest. And we've been in talks with MAS over there, the regulator over there, throughout also. And that's an area where we want to also proceed with. I think some of the every jurisdiction has its own differences, and so we're keen to work with them. We're always in good dialogue, and we're always working together with the regulators to make sure that what we offer to citizens and users follow, strong investor protection, make sure that regulators understand what our business model is and what we're actually offering. It's just so important to have that dialogue.
Oh, Ray, do you have anything? Sorry, you turned your mic. I thought you had something. So I guess what I want to know is, Jason, since you see both sides, the West and the East, like, what do you think about startups that want to build in Web3, maybe, going to either Europe maybe, or coming to Asia to continue to build because regulation is like that? It could be an NFT collection. It could be a new wallet. It could be all these different things that people are building. Do you think that this kind of regulation would help make it clear for startups to move to Hong Kong or Singapore or Dubai or somewhere in Europe and not look at the US anymore? Or what do you think about that?
I think, unfortunately for the US, a lot of companies and really talented people are avoiding coming here. in the U.S., which is unfortunate. I think there's a lot of benefits to be had in the U.S., but Hong Kong is a great place. I saw in the budget, and please let me know if this is correct. I think I saw that the Hong Kong budget actually has a line item allocated for, I think, the Cyberport team to support and invest in Web3 startups. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing, right? To see the government, outright put dollars behind and resources behind these startups. Amazing to see. I think, we actually at OKX do run a few initiatives to support developers, just mostly open source developers, but developers nonetheless, where, if they build the tools that allow for the ecosystem to grow and build on top of, that's something we're actually also happy to put dollars behind. We funded quite a few Bitcoin developers, for example. And so, that's something that, potentially we may look to invest in the Hong Kong startup ecosystem also.
Wow.
You have a
Ray
as well, too.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great. I as Jason mentioned, Hong Kong has come a full circle, right? I think before a few years ago, right? I think a lot of the biggest crypto exchanges, they actually are based in Hong Kong, right? And then the government changed some instruction and guidelines, and then they move out of Hong Kong. And then right now, after I would say after some time, right, they started to understand more about the value, right? And of course, getting the instruction right from the central government. That's why they started to change the direction again, right? And I feel like this time is for good, because I've been talking to a few government officials. Basically, they mentioned that they really want to become one of the top Web3 crypto hub in the world. So I think that's a very bullish signal indeed, right? Because we can almost say that every time when I say that as a Chinese, right? Every time when something is not allowed in China, in the mainland China, but allowed in Hong Kong would be very, very good at that. Yeah, I don't know why, but this is the fact, right? I think even back in like 100 years ago, right, when there is no free trade in China, and then Hong Kong has become the entry port and stuff, then that's how Hong Kong boomed it in the past, right? So I feel like that can be very interesting for anyone working in Hong Kong right now. Yeah.
From a fish village to the Web3 village, I guess.
That's great.
Yeah.
Jason, OKX has a venture fund as well, invested in some pretty good companies. Is that fund also directed at Asian startups?
That fund in particular, no. It looks sort of globally and across multiple verticals. If anyone does want to talk to them, you can ping me and I'm happy to connect you guys with that team there. That's a separate team that's sort of run differently from separate from our core business. But look, there's just a lot of stuff happening in Web3 and crypto around the world. I think Hong Kong is just so really, I think this is a really golden opportunity. However, I do think there are just multiple pieces that need to come together, right? It's not just developers, it's not just the amazing community and the ecosystem, but you need things as simple as banks to bank you, right? We all know how difficult it is for startups to even get a bank account in Hong Kong. I hope that's a little bit better nowadays. But things like that are critical to having a whole ecosystem develop. And frankly, I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? I feel like Hong Kong and a lot of the top financial hubs in the world, I think they are pretty well equipped to support crypto, right? Because crypto, Web3, the biggest difference between them and Web2 is actually the financial part, right? And the ownership and the decentralization. Right? I think those are the things that requires a lot of trust, especially when the infrastructure is being built, right? That's why I think a lot of the top financial hubs, they are actually eyeing to take the throne from New York, right? From London, right? From all the other top financial cities and stuff, right? But as Jason mentioned, I think you can't just build Web3 out of nothing, especially when you want to have a bigger adoption. I wouldn't say mass adoption, just a bigger adoption. And I think that part requires a collaboration between banks, between the government, right? Between all the, I would say, stakeholders in the space. Yeah. And the thing is, when you look at the origin of crypto, it's kind of anti-authority, right? It's kind of something that to be kind of like a protest, right, to the existing financial ecosystem, right? But the thing is, it's always kind of interesting because when you need to introduce it to a bigger audience, you actually have to work with the existing stakeholders, right? Because otherwise, most of the so-called normies, right, they don't bother to learn something new, right? If I can't get the money, right, from the bank or buy it from the bank, this is not legit, right? I think that's what I talk to my friends, right? And they are architects, they are lawyers, right? I mean, they are very fixated in the status quo, right? That's why I think people who work in the space, especially the one who talk to a bigger audience, right? They actually understand that you almost like have to work with your so-called enemies, right, in order to change the world. I think that's the part that is very interesting. That's why when I talk to some government officials, some crypto exchanges, right, you can almost feel like they almost don't really understand Web3 that much, just because they understand more about the existing finance industry and stuff, right? So it's pretty weird to me when I talk to the exchanges that are trying to get their license and stuff, because they have been running a company for a few years, but they ask me, hey, what's the latest on Web3, right? Because they spend so much time in dealing with the government, in dealing with the license and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
One more thing I want to add about Web3 in Hong Kong is that Hong Kong's obviously a small place physically and population wise, right? Whatever it is, 7 million today. Web3 actually allows Hong Kong companies, much like what you've built, Ray, right, to target the entire world without any physical constraints, right? Web3 is a digital space, right? And so it sort of breaks free of sort of Hong Kong's actual constraints and allows businesses and people to think much, much bigger. Just a tremendous opportunity, really.
Yeah, indeed. That's I totally agree with that. Right? I feel like maybe that's the main reason why the U.S. government is kind of like afraid of this change, right? Because in the fiat world, U.S. dollar is the king, right? In the digital world or in the crypto world, actually there can be new winners, right? In the new, I would say, new dimension, right? And maybe that's the reason why they want to uphold the leadership position of US dollars, right? And until they figure out how to do, right? That's why when you listen to the SEC chairman, he talks about digital money, right? He said that US dollar is the digital money, right? But we all know that, okay, it's true, but the infrastructure was built like 40 years ago, right? I saw some ads by some crypto exchanges, right? They mentioned that, okay, the SWIFT ecosystem, right? The SWIFT system hasn't been changed for over like decades, right? And all the credit cards ecosystem, right? They haven't changed for like a long time ago, right? So I feel like I think somehow it's a good thing, because when the leader in the financial world actually is lagging behind, then the new joiners, right, they actually have a chance to win, right? And somehow I feel like this is good news to every other country outside of the US, right? Of course, it sucks for all the entrepreneurs and participants in the US, but I mean, yeah, you can still move out of the country, right, if you want, right? But I think, I mean, at the same time, right, US has a lot of benefits and stuff. Yeah, although the safety of the city is not really that great. I have some friends there in SF, in New York, right? They always complain how their cars got broken and stuff, right? But somehow, yeah, I think it's still pretty early. So I think I'm bullish in Hong Kong, not just because I live in Hong Kong, but generally because I think Asia is obviously leading the charge on all the crypto adoption. Yeah.
Just if you're joining us now, just a quick reset. We're on live here with Jason Lau, the Chief Innovation Officer, OKX. Jason, I saw you talking about ordinals on Twitter. We had On-Chain Monkey last week talking about it. what is your view on these new kind of I don't want to call them shit coins or whatever, but they're new formats of coins that are out there. And Ray knows where we're going with this questioning.
All right. I hope I answer in a way that leads you to your answer, Ray. But for us, we are, we mentioned we've been around for a while. We've sort of seen the Bitcoin ecosystem grow and stagnate and grow. And I think right now it's an interesting time where we see the design space of Bitcoin open up a little bit and sort of allow new ideas to come in, especially ideas that have been proven out to be, I guess there's actual usage on other chains, ERC20 being, populated over to Bitcoin as BRC20 is an example. NFTs now as a sort of Bitcoin ordinals or Bitcoin NFTs is another example. So I think people are still experimenting. There is value. People recognize what Bitcoin represents and what that value is to them. Being sort of that original chain, having stronger decentralization, et cetera, and all the benefits that come with that. And so people are seeing whether those values can be propagated down to derivative. I don't mean derivative financial sense, but sort of subsequent tokens and assets. We'll see. But we are very excited to be supporting the community with tools to embrace these new assets. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, we added BRC20, and we just today announced ordinal NFT trading support in our app. So look, we're happy to work with projects and teams across the spectrum on this front. I think it's been a broadly pretty collaborative effort already. I think the Bitcoin creator ecosystem definitely is incentivized to see this grow. And so we're excited to see where this heads up.
Yeah, I think this is, by the way, this is pretty amazing, right? When one of the leading companies in the space, they can still adopt very fast, right? For example, like OKX, they integrate with BRC20 and then right now ordinals, right, into the wallet in such a short time. I mean, it's like almost like in weeks, right? And when you are actually building products, right, you understand how much time it takes, right, to integrate something new, to have an open mindset, right? Because even convincing the team to work on something new, it actually takes a lot of effort, right? I mean, Jason, you're like the chief innovation officer, right? So you understand how hard it is to push innovation, right, within a bigger organization, right? I echo with Jason because I spend some time on ordinals these days, right? I mean, I started to pay attention to it, I think back in January, right? When DGOTS, right? They tried to they minted the ordinals collection, right? And to be honest, I'm not frank. I don't pay attention to all the new trends because I'm almost like a slow. There's a meme called slow poke, right? SLOWPOKE. It's almost like I'm always a little bit slower. Because I'm too old for this shit, I can't keep up with all the new things, all the new methods, right, in the space. But I read about it, right, and then I pay attention to it, and then bookmark it, and then keep looking at what's the latest trend, right? Because from us, we understand that we don't have to be the first one in the space, as long as we can be the best one, right? And we can do much more because we have a bigger audience, right, across Web 2 and Web 3. So in such case, we are a little bit slow. But after looking at how the ecosystem has, I would say, has grown, we feel like, okay, this can be interesting because as last time when I talked to Danny, when I talked to CK Shark, when I talked to all those builders, right, in the Bitcoin ecosystem right now, I feel like they finally crack open the support, right? From the Bitcoin audience. Yeah, of course, you can see that right now, a lot of people buying all the BRC20 are actually the original shitcoin crowd in ETH, right? But somehow they're all cryptocurrency, right? I mean, as long as we keep an open mind, it actually doesn't really matter that much, right? Because money is money, right? It's not like, okay, I own Bitcoin, I can't own ETH, right? And to be honest, I feel like all the maxis out there, they will never rule the world, right? Maxis are the one who push the world forward, right? But they never rule the world because most people are not that extreme, right? Most people are not maxi, right? That's why no matter what kind of maxi you are, right, I would almost sure that it's not the final answer. But right now, with ordinals and stuff, we see that it actually gets more creative in the space. Of course, there are tons of rug pulls, there are tons of shit projects, right? But at least this gets people excited. Indeed, at Memeland, right, we are exploring an ordinal collections, right? We are working with the top companies and builders in the space to make sure that we don't just do it for the sake of doing it, but actually find a good narrative, right? Create some value, create some, let's say, utility, right? When we launch an ordinal collections, right? I think that the whole goal is because we have to think about, okay, it's almost like 1 year anniversary for our MVP collection, right? Basically for Memeland, right? What should we do to celebrate this important benchmark? I mean, I'm not a guy who celebrate birthdays, right? But at least, right, when I celebrate 1 year 1 year old birthday party with my kid, right? That's why I feel like, okay, it's important to do something, right, for the MVP, right, for the crowd, right? So there's a good chance that we are burning our treasury, our MVP treasury, right, and then to create a meaningful ordinal collections, right, with some something with some special utility for that, right? Because the best way to learn is actually to do things, right? And that's why we are doing that. Yeah, I think
That's
that can be interesting.
alpha.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to brand it as alpha and stuff, right? I think this space, the last thing that this space is alpha. It's basically all the insider news and bullshit, right? I think we need more work. We need less alpha, right? But somehow I feel like this is a good way for us to expand our crowd, right? Because for us, we never say that, okay, we are building for ETH, right? We are building for Web3, right? And Web3 covers Bitcoin, Ethereum, all kinds of chains, right? I think if we see that, okay, this can get more people excited about Memeland, this can get more people excited about Web3, then maybe we should try it out, right? We should not limit ourselves because that's how all the people get obsolete when they feel like, okay, this is wrong, right? This should not be done, right? This is like just a trend that will fade away, right? I think with that kind of mindset, we can't improve, we can't grow. That's why we have to keep an open mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are so excited about it that Memeland's going to ordinals. And a lot of people are anticipating more about meme coin. So
yeah, I mean, Jason is here, right? I think OKX, right? I think the first question is, will meme coin get listed on OKX?
yeah.
I think people would be assuming that. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say anything, right? Because we actually never have a very official discussion, right? To be honest, I feel like the future of crypto launch, I think, yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's not respecting Jason and OKX, but I feel like the future is more about how to educate the people to use the decentralized exchange on one hand, right? And also for centralized exchange. I think centralized exchange is a very great tool to onboard the masses because for them, it's easier to understand, right? Okay, what if I forgot my password, right? What if I forgot lose my seed phrase, right? Then I can get customer support. I think that's needed, right? But at the same time, I feel like for most of the NFT crowd, they actually use MetaMask, right? Then in such case, maybe we should launch meme coin with DEXs instead of just focusing on, okay, getting listed on all those big exchanges. And I feel like people want that because they want to sell very easily, right? It doesn't mean that they want meme coin to grow and stuff, right? Although meme coin is literally a shit coin, right? That's what we say because we want to make sure that we are very safe, our holders are safe. So we mentioned officially that, okay, meme coin is a shit coin and meme coin doesn't have any roadmap. It's literally a meme coin with no intrinsic value, no utility, no roadmap, no promises, and no expectation of financial return. But we'll be launching it very, very soon, right? And yeah, and indeed, if you are listening to the show, right, we are launching the waitlist giveaway, right?
Whoa,
in 2 days.
whoa.
Yeah, and somehow the game that is on memecon.org is actually related, right? That's why we do it, right? We do things intentionally, right? Because we want to live our lives intentionally, right? Otherwise, it's like going nowhere, right? So somehow this is something that we will be doing, right? And yeah, exciting times.
So listen up. Yeah.
That was a lot of info there. Even I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, but I actually have to shout out to OKX team, right? I mean, they are one of the very first crypto centralized exchanges that reach out to us, right? And at that time, we didn't have the official launch day and month, right, or for Memecoin. But they already reach out to us because they say that okay, on one hand they are launching. I think OKX has their own NFT marketplaces, right? And then they want to work with us, and then they also said, hey, we also want to work with us when you launch your fungible token, right? So I mean, OKX team they're very I would say outgoing, right, and actively in the space. Yeah.
Well, Ray, thank you for those kind words. Also, no offense to the comment about decentralized and centralized. I think, part of our company vision and, what we expect is that, one, it's important for people to have choice, right? So if you're more comfortable with one versus another, by all means, choose and use the one you want to. And two, we think decentralized tools are still at its early stages. So, the user experience today is definitely not what we're going to see years from now. And that's why we're investing so much time in building up our decentralized or non-custodial side of our business also. I think we have about 400 people across the company working on our Web3 wallet, just on the Web3 wallet. So not all of them are engineers and not all in product, but still, I think that's a pretty sizable number of people and really shows our commitment to working across the spectrum, across the community to make sure that our tools support what you guys do. So Ray, if you guys are doing an ordinal collection, we'd love to chat. Love to make sure that whatever you guys do works, right? As long as it has to work on, our tools need to work and be compatible, especially with sort of these new types of NFTs and assets. So yeah, and then lastly, I'm not on the listings team. I have no idea. We actually have a pretty good sort of whatever we call it, firewall or great wall, where we try to keep so this sort of insider information segregated. So I have no idea, and I'm not actually the person to talk to. So no comment on that at all.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I believe that one of my personal mottos was be so good that they can't ignore you. Right. I think that is actually very true in all kind of areas in life. Right. I think like when we launched Memeland, right, people call us cash grab, but we are one of the very few collections that actually all the collections that we launch all go up. Right. I mean, I almost never dream of that, but I knew that we will be doing well. Right. But I didn't know that the market has gone to shit. Right. But somehow I just feel like it is what it is, right? We just keep doing well, and to us, launching meme coin is not the destination, right? It's almost like the start, right? Because I mean, the meme coin again is literally a shit coin, no promises, right? So Gary Gensler, right? If you are listening to this show, I don't know you are, right? Yeah, we are not a securities, right? It's a shit coin, right? But somehow I feel like we try to do the best. Because we are not looking at a few months, a few millions, and dollars and stuff, right? We are looking at the next 5 years, right? The next 10 years, right? What we can do and how can we position our company, our community, right? The best for the upcoming 5 years, 10 years, right? And when you look back at Bitcoin, it's like the biggest shitcoin in the world. Right? It didn't promise anything in the beginning, but after 10 years of hard work of the community, right, it's one of the most valued asset in the world, right? And then even for Ethereum, right, no matter how genius Vitalik is, it still takes years for the community to come around to actually build something meaningful, right? So I think when people in our community, when they look at Memeland, when they look at meme coin, they all looking at how can I flip for like 0.1 ETH profit, right, in 2 days, right? I think that's the wrong. I wouldn't say that's the wrong mindset, right? But I think that's not the best mindset when we are trying to build, right? And this is actually a question that I want to ask Jason, right? When you're trying to push innovation, right, across your company, across the space, what's your advice, right, to fellow builders, to fellow innovators in the space? When you see all kind of FUDs, all kind of things that, okay, oh, this is useless. So why do you spend time on it, right? Even maybe your CEO will ask you the same thing, right? Why would we work on ordinals, right? Because when you can launch the ordinal support right now, that means you have been building it for a few weeks or months, right? Then how could you convince people to do that when things seems like going nowhere?
Yeah, I think you actually highlighted this yourself, Ray. I think it's important to have that focus on building, have conviction on what you're building, and experiment towards it. Not all experiments and feature launches work out, and that's fine. But you took a good guess at how this would advance and get you closer to your whatever your project or your company's goal. I think that's the most important, is making sure internally, at least, we know what we're building for and what we're trying to do. I mentioned earlier, it's as simple as we want to expand access into crypto. And so that covers many verticals, which is why we offer so many different products and we have many different teams. But at its core, that's what we're all here for. And so when we build things, we have that singular focus. If that doesn't help us get there, we probably shouldn't be doing it. But even then, a lot of our efforts fail. Over the past 10 years, I've seen a lot of them fail, actually. A lot of really big efforts not work out. And so that's my advice, just piggybacking on what you said, actually.
Yeah. And that's why we are also trying something new, right? When we launch meme coin, right? We are, I don't know whether I should say it out loud because I'm not fully 100% confident in doing it in time. Right? We are planning to launch planning to do a parallel launch, right, on ERC20 as well as BRC20, right? Because I mean, whenever I talk to people in the ordinal space, I mean, they all mention that they're actually very bullish on ordinals, right? They're not super bullish on BRC20 because they say that, okay, it's all the coins that they are kind of like shit coins, right? And people just occupying the ticket and stuff, right? But after talking to more I would say crypto OGs and stuff, they say, why not, right? Because the cost of launching it is actually very low, right? And when the cost of doing an experiment is low, we should just have the attitude that fuck it, let's do it. That kind of attitude, right? That's why when we launch meme coin, we are doing let's call it parallel launch or package launch. Basically, we'll be airdropping a BRC20 meme. Probably we will change the name because meme is the ticket is already occupied, right? We will be launching a coin on BRC20 as well as ERC20, so that it's almost like you get free shit, and when you get free shit, you're willing to experiment, right? Because that's how to onboard people, right? No matter whether it's Uber or Deliveroo, right, or Airbnb, how can you onboard the people who are not yet your customers? Basically, you give them free shit so that the cost of them to try is basically zero, right? So this is something that we want to do because I think if it gets people's excitement, right, about the space, we should give it a try, right? I think we have that kind of responsibility when we are one of the, I wouldn't say leader, but more like one of the company that still survives, that are still building, right? Because if we don't even try something new, then we can't expect the smaller teams, right, to try, right? And for us, failure is expected, right? But somehow, if we can earn some experience, then we should try it, right? I think as Jason mentioned, yeah, experiment is I think some of the experiments must fail, right? If all your experiments succeed, then probably you are not taking enough risk, right? Yes, is that correct, Jason?
Absolutely. And just on that note about airdrops and sort of encouraging users to give it a try, we actually launched a feature called Cryptopia on our wallet, which really is a partnership with projects and protocols. So, for example, our first one was with the ZK Sync protocol, where there's a series of quests or a series of things you do. It's really like you're trying to do a few tasks, play around, and you earn some reward for doing so. And for the second season, we just launched with the Sui slot. And so, there are tools where we're building to get our user base to go and get out of their comfort zone and try new protocols, try new projects. That might be something where we're happy to take feedback on, but we're also trying to get our users to and incentivize them to go explore.
Yeah, I think somehow I think a lot of people, right, even though they are in the space right now, but after some time, I think we got complacent, right? Because we are all bad holders, right? We have our own prejudice towards all the new things in the space, right? That's why we would say that, okay, this is shit, right? I own Bitcoin, but I don't like ordinals, right? Because people hate changes. It's almost like our joint, right? When we get older, right? Our joint, if we don't exercise, basically it will deteriorate by default. Right? So I feel like pushing innovation is actually a very intentional move, right? Innovation doesn't happen naturally. It's almost like you have to do something uncomfortable, right? And I think that's how we should do, right? And to be honest, right, when the risk is so low, right, we should do it, right? And to be honest, if we can't take the risk, why bother to build in Web3, right? Why don't we just get a job at a bank, right, or at the government? You can be super safe, right? And maybe not that safe because bank also have lay off all the time, right? But somehow, I just feel like we have that responsibility to push the boundary because we have the attention, right? That's why we should do more, right? Because I think that's the least thing that we can do to push the space. Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately. Well, number one, sorry, Ray, I don't think you're that old. I don't know if you can use that joint joke quite yet. But
always relative, Jason. Yeah.
Number two, on sort of the other thing is that the crypto industry is also so nascent. And nothing really, as we can see with everything that's happening this week, nothing's really been set in stone. So we're almost all forced to experiment and innovate indirectly. And I think that's part of what makes this space entirely so exciting, right? There's just so much cool stuff that has yet to be created. That's what keeps me excited about my job here, and I hopefully everyone else in the space.
Yeah, I think that's the amazing part, right? I almost like wake up excited every day because, I mean, if this is something that we haven't tried, then I love to try it, right? If it is something that the space hasn't tried, right, then we want to kind of like pay attention to it, right? And I feel like we want more people to support that. Sadly, right, as a bet holder, a lot of the people, they don't understand it, right? Even for example, like our NFT side, right, or for captains, which is our main collection, we launched it in January, right? It's almost like half a year, right? We still haven't reviewed. Right, and somehow I think if there's a world record, I think we are one of the longest review NFT collection that has the highest ball price for the longest time. Right, I mean I'm not proud of it, but this is like part of our plan because actually, actually it's very easy to change the artwork, right? But it's hard to get people's attention. And the irony is the easiest way to get people's attention is actually you change the artwork and stuff. That's why, if this is the easiest thing, then we don't do it right now. Let's drag it as long as possible. And then until the community can't stand it, right? Then we do the change. It's almost like how we deal with our parents, right? And then if it's almost like we try to test their bottom line so that, okay, we do it, right? And then not parents, but more like wife and stuff, right? It's almost like, okay, why don't you clean the toilet, right? I only clean it last minute until she flip out, right? So I think that's the things that we try to test because I think what's lacking is patience, right? In this space, I'm not even talking about loyalty. I don't believe there's much loyalty in this space. I think maybe some, but patience is something that we actually need more, right? Because building actually takes time. And for even for our NFT collections, right, we have a new feature called tradables, which means that we will work with different artists and brands to make the trades on our NFT changeable, right? Because we believe that it's super stupid to stick to what CryptoPunks or Bored Ape have done, which is okay. You base on the randomness, right? And then you got the NFT, and then That's it, right? I mean, even for example, like what AK talk about, right? They invited Barbies, right? Even Barbies can change clothes. Why can't NFT change clothes, right? Why can't NFT change the face and stuff, right? So we try to push the boundary, but sometimes all the people, not all, but a lot of our holders, they will mention that, oh, I think that will dilute the value of the rare trades, right? Yeah, probably yes, right? But we're not trying to work for the existing audience, right? We are trying to onboard the new audience, right? How can we continue to create value for our holders on one hand, but also expand it to onboard new holders, right? I think that's how you can grow the ecosystem. Otherwise, why NFT space is in the current shit show right now is because all the people, they are trying just to doing some cannibalism, right? Okay, I want to flip your collection, right? And then I take your holders, and then I try to shit post and shit talk about your collection, right? And that's not how we can push the space forward, right? Honestly, we're so early that instead of trying to grab the shares, right, from Binance, from Coinbase, right, I think OKX has been doing a good job, which is okay. Why don't we get more people from Web2, right, from the banking world, right, instead of just trying to get users from other exchanges, right? I think those are the things that more people should understand, or crypto will always only be a game for like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million people, right? And that's not how we can grow the pie, right? Jason, what's your advice to all the people in the space, right? Because you are in the space for quite a long time, right? How can we stay refreshed when there's so much, I would say, pushback on all the new things and people, and not to mention, right, the new things, the pushback is not just from your holders, right, from your users, but also from the regulators, from the government, right? How can you navigate that?
I mean, that's a tough one, right? There is people. You mentioned the maxis and fighting against the new ordinal stuff. Just one example. I think ultimately, though, it is important for protocols, projects, companies, everyone to be constantly building and improving. You don't need to convince someone to come back or to swap their bags if you can actually show that the use case is better. Right? That's a natural way for people to move on and use something new. And so maybe right now, this current generation of NFTs doesn't offer anything better than the last, cycle. But I can see that, company like you guys are experimenting, right? And seeing what new ways we can do to add new blood and energy into it. I think that's what we all need to do. That's what we're trying to do on our side, creating a, of course, regulatory permissible, but both a centralized exchange experience, but also tagging that with and pairing that with a non-custodial experience. I think that's something that we're trying to push the envelope a little bit so people can use and pick and choose the elements that they like best, right? And continue to push and improve on all of them. So again, it's building, it's focused on what you think that vision will be, building it out. And then, if the product and use case is better, I think people will naturally come back. By the way, Ray, and maybe for Casey and Karen, that quote that Ray had about cleaning the toilet, I think that has to be the highlight of the show, right? I don't think there's anything else.
We're cutting that out for production.
Or GIF for sure.
Yeah. No, so I have a final question for both of you. So a little bit personal. We're talking about old joints and exercising. I want to know, in this space, being so hectic and intense, how do you relax and wind down a little bit? What's your personal tip?
I'll go first. I like to listen to podcasts that have nothing to do with crypto. Just absolutely kind of
good ones.
Yeah, I like to listen to 99% Invisible. Talks about design in our everyday world and things that you may not notice. And also NPR's Planet Money is always fun to watch, fun to listen to. Short little sort of snippets. Good stories.
Okay.
That's what I do.
All right. How about Ray? Ray never sleeps.
He doesn't have it.
Away.
I think I do two things. Number one, play with my son. Right? It's almost like you forgot all the worries in the world because you only have to worry about him, right? Because it's almost like he will fall all the time, right? And hit his head and stuff, right? So I think that part is, I wouldn't say relaxed, right? But more like a change of the mind, right? And then and the other thing is I just watch a lot of TV shows, right? I mean, I call it research because I want to stay updated, right? And try to learn some US culture and stuff, right? So I'm just rewatching The Sopranos, right, with my wife. It's my like third time or fourth time to watch the show, right? But and then it's the first time for my wife to watch it, and then she loves it, and that makes me happy. I mean, introducing some cool shit to people I love, right? It actually makes me happy, right? Because that's also the reason why. Okay, I love working in Web3. If I can convert my friend, right, to understand the power of crypto, right, that makes me happy. Right? And also The Sopranos is also good, right? Because my wife and I, we both love to watch shows that the main character gets in all kind of shit show, right? And then they try to solve the problems, right, with their intelligence, right, with luck, right, with their friends, right? Because that reminds me how peaceful my life is, right? Worst case, people shit talk to me on Twitter or Discord, right? When I close
That's
the
no
app,
big deal.
they can't affect me, right? But unlike like The Sopranos, right? Even the boss, right? He has to deal with his wife, his mom, his gang, all kind of troubles, right? That makes me feel like, okay, my life is actually easy, right? And that makes me very, very grateful, right? So it's almost like I use entertainment to remind myself that it's not that challenging, right? If building in Web3, I mean, building Web3, that means talking to a lot of people, shit talking, right? Each other. And then we all feel like we are very important people, right? But we actually, no one cares about us, right? I think that gives us into a perspective, right? And but in general, I just feel like when you want something exciting, right, you can't chill too much, right? I think that's what Web3 is, right? Because if you want to chill, maybe you just go DCA in some government bond. No, not even government bonds, right? But do some very boring stuff. Boring stuff, relatively safe. You can chill. But somehow for us, builders, right? I think we get the adrenaline in building, right? In taking risks, and also understanding how to live a purpose-driven life. I think that part is actually important, right? And I think I'm old enough to know that, okay, this is what I like. It's not like, okay, I do the job I hate, right? I actually love my job right now, right? And I think, that's why I don't really think about chilling that much, because my job is pretty chill, comparing to Tony Soprano,
I think it's amazing that Ray is busy and all, but is still up to date to all the shows, like when we talk about Successions and all that stuff. So thank you so much for both of you to come on to the show.
Yeah, Jason, where can viewers find out to follow you? Are you mostly active on Twitter?
Twitter is a great place. I'm at Jason K LAU.
All right, great. No relation. We're not related.
No, I don't think so.
We yamcha a lot together. Great. Okay, thanks a lot, Jason.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jason.
That was Jason Lau, the Chief Innovation Officer, OKX.com. So good to have him on.
Yeah.
Okay, we're running long, Karen, which is great. Very insightful information there. You want to
conversation.
A little bit of what the alpha that Ray just dropped again for the people who just can't believe what they just heard.
We're on Ordinals, so, and also keep an eye on the game on Memeland.org, because we're basically dropping new features. So make sure that you're on there, and just wait and see. Stay tuned.
He also said BRC20, right?
Yeah, BRC20.
Oh, they allow less than 2 days.
Yes.
Whoa, that's a lot of alpha drop.
Double dip on BTC and ETH at the same time.
This wasn't an alpha show, but I guess Ray was super excited to talk to Jason and get them to hopefully list the meme coin.
Sorry, it's memecoin.org, no, Memeland.org. So make sure that you're staying tuned on the game and making sure that you're playing the game, and there will be some surprise.
Awesome. Okay. Let's move on to the next final segment here. It's a live poll let's play a little bit of exciting music. All right. What was the poll this week, Karen?
So we asked, like, what do you listen or read weekly about Web3 and NFT? And let's recommend some good ones. So we have some really good comments, like recommending other channels if you're interested in the Web3 community and NFTs. Like, maybe these are the other portals that you can get into. So Sheesh 671 said, gotta be we're all gonna make it report.com for me. We're not gonna make it. It's we are all gonna make it report.com. And Good Thing says podcast by Bunzi, OX Bunzi, and Spaces by Shanez Best, 0x Loopring, Polydex, NFT Bark, and Chris Jordan. So like these are some cool people that you guys can check out on. And also Haruki D said, can't skip the Nifty Portal, guys, because it's all-star roster. Yeah, that's exactly our cool friend here in Nifty Portal. We also asked, what does a good NFT or Web3 show need? So MU said, humor. And guess who disagree with the host and originality? For example, instead of inviting people who are in Web3, maybe it'd be interesting to have a show with people who don't know anything and others who are against it. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We have plenty of people we can...
My dad would be a great guest for that.
We can invite, my dad or my mom to be on the show and just ask them random questions, or other people or brands that are not in Web3 yet. That would be a cool conversation. Gotcha said random interactive events during the show so that people will tune in expecting a surprise element to keep them hooked. For example, adding a mystery guest. Think of something like guess the Pokemon meme, but guess the guest instead. So that's interesting because we can always have a surprise guest, I guess, like at the end of it. Mark said a good topic such as how to bring new people into NFT, example of such activities by scammers or random people. 2, music performance in between to make it more chill, maybe. 3, a fun fact about anything. Wow. So
we will take those ideas into consideration.
We're always listening.
We're always listening. So yeah, definitely tweet us. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Also tell us where you want to see the show. If it's YouTube and podcasts are great, but if you want to see them on other platforms, definitely let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. Wow, Karen, we ran super long today because we had so many guests on. So this is the most power-packed episode of the GM show. But we're going to leave you with some fun facts, right? From the final guest, who is?
We got fun facts and special surprise guest, which is Black Widow herself, Scarlett Johansson.
Fun facts about Web3 and NFTs. Number 1. Web3 is the third generation of the internet, which is designed to be more decentralized, secure, and open. 2. One of the main technologies behind Web3 is blockchain, which enables decentralized trust and eliminates the need for intermediaries. 3. Web3 enables peer-to-peer transactions without the need for middlemen or intermediaries, which can reduce fees and increase efficiency. 4. Web3 enables the creation and use of decentralized applications that can run on a blockchain network without the need for a centralized server. 5. The first NFT was created in 2017 on the Ethereum blockchain, and since then, the market has grown rapidly, with NFTs selling for millions of dollars. 6. NFTs can represent a wide range of digital assets, including art, music, videos, memes, virtual real estate, and more. 7. Some of the most expensive NFT sales to date include Beeple's Everyday's The First 5,000 Days for $69 million, CryptoPunk 3,100 for $7.5 million, and a LeBron James highlight video for $208,000. 8. NFTs have also been used for charitable purposes, with some creators donating a portion of their sales to organizations such as COVID relief funds and environmental causes. 9. NFTs have sparked controversy in some circles, with critics arguing that they contribute to the commodification of art and culture, while others see them as a new way for artists and creators to gain recognition and income.
All right. Great list of stuff. Thank you, Karen. Thank you to Andy from Be Friends. He'll be back on the show next month. Thank you to Jordan from Memeland and Jason from OKX. Everybody, we'll see you next week. Same meme time, same meme channel. Follow us on Twitter at GM Show Official to find out what polls Karen's putting up and who our next guests will be. Karen, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.